Paramahamsa iti namine. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine. Ora karuna paripaya, Hare Krishna Prestaya Te. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine. Ora karuna paripaya, Hare Krishna Prestaya Te. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine. Ora karuna paripaya, Hare Krishna Prestaya Te. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine. Ora karuna paripaya, Hare Krishna Prestaya Te. Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Gopakta Vrinda. Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Gopakta Vrinda. Bhagwan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Gopakta Vrinda. Jai Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga. Mohana Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
After studying Bhagavad Gita and understanding our transcendental nature, we have now a direction where we can be focusing our life, our heart, our whole being. So I'll read here one of the six Shastaka of Lord Chaitanya. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years together. Thus, the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death is extinguished. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spread the rays of benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it helps to have a taste of full nectars which we are always anxious. So when one comes in contact with the confidential loving sermon of the Supreme Person, one's life begins to be in a way, in a transcendental way, connected through oral reception that the spiritual master pass on the transcendental knowledge that is eternal. It's about the science of loving devotional service. It begins with giving, embracing the disciple, the student, the living entity with Krishna's protection, Krishna's embrace. So now, I like to read something that read this Lord Krishna's statement, wherein on a daily basis, on a very practical situation, we are able to see and experience this transcendental reality. So I'll read first Lord Krishna's heart, Lord Krishna's intent. It's a relationship between someone who is giving advice. Just like our spiritual master, he's giving us a connection, an advice, a teaching that will connect us with what is pleasing to the Supreme Person. And this will be the assurance if we become filial and amiably just focus upon the instruction of the representative of the Supreme Person, the ambassador of God. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee under my protection reaches the eternal abode, the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. In all activities, Chalila. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Years back, I was with one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple. For years, he'd been engaging in Sankirtan. Wherever he goes, his work is simply passing on the holy names. So, we were in a situation, a very far place, and he came to this troubled land, Mindanao. And he went to the place where he worked every day, having Sankirtan, Prasadam distribution, passing on what has been given to him by his spiritual master. He left his comfort zone. He went to a place uncertain what will happen. He carried on doing his service, following the instruction of his spiritual master. It's a hard work. It's an austerity. They were living in a place where he put up a center to accommodate, to canvas individuals who may be interested in solving the problems of life, and is giving an alternative. He's giving them an alternative how they can be experiencing the joy of life, a different world. Because he is so focused in just carrying on the instruction of his spiritual master, completely under the protection of that guidance, the eternal guidance of Lord Krishna. There was a time that he cannot even have the opportunity that is given by the confidential friend, wherein he can listen, where he can remember and meditate upon his instruction. But because he is so focused with his endeavor to please the spiritual master, Lord Krishna, he carried on. Seemingly, from the material point of view, he's just a simple person. He's not a great speaker. But there's something that motivates him. It is his love for his Gurudev, his desire to please his Gurudev, and help others. If you look closely at his life, given the privilege to be with him for a certain time, he is simply giving everything what he has to accommodate others, to be able to have access to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So there was a time that his body got sick. His body in so much pain. And then he cannot function anymore with the use of his body to help others. But from his life's example, we can appreciate how this person, through his example, is able to let us see the experience of someone who has completely taken this opportunity to do the will of God under the guidance of our dear friend. So when I saw him, his body is so sick, he can hardly walk. And after a while, he cannot speak anymore. And then he tried hard to fix, to check what is happening to his body, to address the problem. But time came that there's nothing he can do anymore. So he was in the intensive care with all the cancer patient because he's so much in pain that his head, one part of his brain, is so inflamed with bacteria. And when I saw him at the intensive care, his head is bloated. He's so much in pain. But the promise of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, this person is able to exemplify, to show us in actuality the truth of the transcendental assurance of Lord Krishna that is eternal, that is relationship with his devotee. The relationship of the spiritual master with his devotees. So I'll read again here that Lord Krishna assures us, though engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. So when our Gurudev found out that his body is very sick, that he's leaving the body, he came to his instruction. Not only that, at the time his body is in pain, struggling hard, simply the sound that is transcendental, that connects one's life, one's heart with this assurance. When Srila Prabhupada, when Krishna tells him through his disciple who came, tell him in his ears, Srila Prabhupada said, he loves you very much and you will always be protected. And Krishna will loves you very much. And that inspired him that even though in pain, he is so elated that he shouted Haribol. Ah! And then he calmed down. But prior to that, in his meditation, in his while traveling in this body and in his situation, his body in so much pain, as we can see in the intensive care with all these gadgets punctured in his body, the oxygen, you know, all of this. I don't know what's that, because in that place there's about 19 people also dying, and he's there. The difference is that this person is living so convinced with the assurance and protection of Lord Krishna, because the relationship has been established when he gave his heart, his mind, his whole being to the shelter of the instruction of the confidential friend of Lord Krishna. Then our spiritual master advised that if he leaves that intensive care, there should be chanting going on. Not only that, because It's a struggle now for all, especially family members. Hoping against hope. Will he get cured? Is there a way he can still survive? But he cannot move. And one of my God brother who came there noticed and asked him if he can, if he wants to leave this intensive care where all the oxygen and all these gadgets clinging around, hooked in his body. Is he willing to take up this, what they call survival gadget? Then he moved his hand. Yes. Then my God brother noticed it. Then he asked him, if you want, please move your hand. Then he moved his hand. If you don't like, don't move your hand. Then he asked again, will you want to take all this life-sustaining gadget that sustains your body? Then he moves his hand. And then my God brother talked to the wife who's there, helpless. He said, will, if Panchatatvadas would want to take up this gadget that sustain him from clinging to this body, to his body, will you allow it? And the wife tells my God brother, yes, if he wants. So he invited her to come in, and then he whispered to the ears of Panchatatvadas. And the wife saw the actuation, how Panchatatvadas is willing to take up the survival, life-sustaining device that connects him with his body. So, okay. And when Srila Prabhupada found out that, he guided, he took care of him, all in reality, he's eternally, he's under the protection of Lord Krishna. But in this case, he assisted, he took charge how Panchatatvadas will leave this world. So it starts with hearing. It starts with the holy names. A certain activity leads to a certain consciousness, and a certain consciousness leads to certain activities. So the transcendental world, that is Vaikuntha, freedom from no anxiety, is guided by the holy names from the time he left the hospital to the house. While he's there, chanting is going on. But because he cannot open his mouth, the devotees around him came to chant the holy names through his ears under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada. Then Srila Prabhupada called him, talked to him for 14 minutes, chanted with him, chanted through his ears. And after Srila Prabhupada talked to him, he became so relaxed, and the devotees who are in the proximity engage in the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, singing the holy names through his ears till the time he left the body, about 3 a.m. So here, it is a perfect example. It is the eternal assurance in actuality that when Lord Krishna assures, tells the devotee, relates to the devotee, our spiritual master relates to us and embraces us with that love by passing on to us Lord Krishna as the holy names, none different from the Supreme Protector. Lord Krishna embraced Panchatattvadas. At the time, he came in contact with his Gurudev, who is the representative of the Supreme Person. And following his instruction, he's guided by this transcendental world of devotional service that is eternal till the time he left the body. So, Lord Krishna's assurance to all of us, we can see in the life of this disciple, Panchatattvadas. Because of his meditation, because of his commitment, his heart, his mind, simply focusing in doing what is pleasing to Lord Krishna. He's in this world. O Scion of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. At the time, he came in contact with the devotee, with the representative of God. That relationship of loving surrender, he focused upon that. From the material point of view, he's very far from our Gurudev. But because he took by heart the message, the eternal comfort, the eternal activity of loving relationship, being a disciple, someone who has given his life to his Gurudev, he's very far in a never land. But Krishna came. And even at the time he's helpless, Krishna came. Srila Prabhupada came. The devotees came and assisted him to be focused. And that assurance that when one surrenders his life to Lord Krishna, we can see in the life of this person an example that when Lord Krishna tells us that he'll protect us through the life of this person, we can be inspired, we can be assured that if I simply give my heart, my life, and stop being in the world of selfishness, complete surrender, feeling, remembering in humbleness the third prayer of Lord Chaitanya. So we can see here that the connection between Lord Krishna and Panchatattvadas, even though physically, geographically is very far, is connected. So spiritual life is not joining. Spiritual life, devotional service is not a place. Connection with Lord Krishna and the spiritual master is not simply hanging around in his proximity, but we must see how Panchatattvadas took by heart the instruction of his spiritual master. And in the end, at the time he's leaving his body, and previously when he was engaging in austerity to propagate, to assist his spiritual master. His meditation is simply connected with this love to please his spiritual master, to please Lord Krishna. That is the glory of an example of one of God's glory, that He, when He tells us, just complete surrender unto me and I'll protect you. Embrace the love of Lord Krishna. He's a person, just like us, but He is the supreme person, the cause of all causes. He's called Krishna, the all-attractive supreme person, our eternal friend, who has unconditional love for us, our well-wisher, represented by his confidential friend, Jagad Guru Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. All the trials and tribulation that Panchatattva does, the austerities he engaged in, the sacrifice, in the face of adversity, he's connected with that love till the time, from the time he met his Gurudev to the time he left his body. He's under the care of Lord Krishna in that world of devotional service. We humbly pray, hoping, pray, that in whatever situation we're in, that we become part of the transcendental world under the guidance and service of our Gurudev, wherever we are, whatever state we're in. And we can be assured that we have refuge. Our life has refuge if we follow this world of devotional loving service that is being given to us by our Gurudev, this science, how we can walk in this path of devotional world wherein our focus is to do the will of the Supreme Person and to be pleasing, to be in love, where we can offer our life to be engaging in this meditation of devotional loving service. And it is a connection with our Gurudev. Our Gurudev tells us, chant the holy names, love Krishna, surrender to Him. And if we simply be amiable, surrender to that instruction of our Gurudev, then we enter that world of devotional service. Thank you very much. Haribol Namaste.
Jai Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guranga. Madana, Mohana, Madana, Mohana. Gauranga